researching other organizations that did similar things. And what I found was that I forgot his name. William is what William's trying to do is something that's really different from a bunch of the other organizations, is that he's trying to get the troops that have left the military or are currently enlisted to actually play in their own country, which I think is interesting because like there's another one, what is it, Bunkers in Baghdad. They send the playing gear to Iraq and they play there. So that's another something I think we should think about is the home element.
Yeah, write it down.
This one's like at 4, right?
Or one. One's fine.
Yeah, that's an interesting differentiation. Okay.
And then we didn't get, or at least I know I didn't get very far into looking at what these troops need because I couldn't really find a reliable way to understand
Just
them.
talk about what you found. Just talk about what you
Well, I just compared the different companies is what I really focused
Okay.
on.
Okay. And did you look at organizations that were in the United Kingdom?
Primarily ones from the United States because there seems to be, we golf more here. So there are more organizations.
Seriously?
We have more golf courses and then, but per capita, very,
British.
I don't remember, but we golf a lot. Okay, but we have more courses and more fields.
Scotland, yes. Well, I mean, I think you might per capita have an argument there, but what about nonprofits for veterans in the UK? Did you find anything?
Not really.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, this looking at the differentiation of the nonprofit is interesting because it goes across the board in terms of internationally what people are doing for their veterans.
And William seems to really want to focus more on this idea of recreation that we talked about before.
Okay.
And things like that, having an expressive way for troops to kind of ease into more civilian life.
Yeah, put down recreation there. I think that's good.
Because a lot of troops tend to, they cope by themselves as opposed to coping along with others, and so
Right.
it kind of bottles up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that right, again?
What?
Recreation.
Yeah, because recreation is an interesting word. I mean, we take it for granted it, but it's recreating.
Yeah, and a lot of times, at least from what I've heard from US, and I know this is not the same as UK cities, but when people come back from the war, they have a really hard time relaxing. Because they've been in such a structured environment for so long, where like there's constant threats. So being able to relax and do something different is hard.
It's pretty safe to say it's the same way.
I mean, I would assume, again.
Yeah, I think there's a difference. It's the military, my impression after with my friends in the UK, and I know quite a number of ex-military, the traditions are different. The feeling, I think that the population looks at the military differently in the UK than in the US. So I think they receive their military in a more respectful way.
Were you talking psychological?
Yeah, I meant for the individual psychological.
Yeah, so when they re-enter back into the community, I think it's a different kind of reception. That's the impression that I got. But also the tradition of the military, the actual traditions seem to kind of still be part of the community. So the military isn't so separate. So for the Royal Marines to help me rappel down the side of a building, seemed like a normal thing. I don't know, to be involved in the communities, it seems a little bit more present. But anyway, so what else, you guys? What else did you find?
Do you guys want to?
Well, I kind of started saying my spiel, but
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna shut down.
What? No, wait, what?
Oh, the merge?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well.
Oh, merging well, I mean, so give me your thinking about that.
Well, yeah, just because you're merging, it doesn't mean it's turning into the exact same company. It can just be a branch of the company. So,
Well, but it's hard to do that. I mean, how would you
I
do
suppose,
that?
but you're kind of doing that already, right? You're creating essentially you're creating a different branch in a different country doing different things, but it's still essentially the same concept.
So you want single management for two different kinds of activities? Under
I'm
one
not sure about
plan?
single management. I mean, however many people that's really up to them, but.
Yeah, so have you ever started a nonprofit?
I'm not me personally, I've helped.
Yeah.
So.
I think that where you're going, here's the way that I would put it, is it possible for two organizations to share similar names, very similar? It would be slightly different. Tee Up for Troops, and theirs is Tee It Up for Troops.
I think we did say tee it up for troops too.
Yeah,
And you used
it
two
is
different
very
names.
similar. So the thing of it is the question is, I would say, is it possible for two individual organizations to share the same name? That's what you're suggesting. What you're suggesting, because you don't need to get into, as a designer, you don't really necessarily have all the answers to get into management of two different organizations. So what the question is could they have the same name and still function doing what they want to do?
I think so, as long as their goal is,
Thinking so is different than knowing so. What we have to, this is the thing in design, we have to actually recommend.
Yeah, I'm just proposing.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not just saying if it would work or not, I'm just. 'cause
it's a
I'm-
question rather
Yeah.
than saying that they should. And it's, the question is that could he keep the name? So is that what you would say is a good idea?
And originally that's not exactly what I was saying, but if that works, then yeah, it works. I mean, if it's in the UK and.
Could it still be,
And
could
they don't
it
really
keep the
care.
name?
Yeah, if they kept the name,
Yeah,
if
could
they
it
in
keep
the
the name?
US.
Okay.
.org didn't care, which I don't really see why it would if it's a nonprofit and it's.
Well, this is where the research is important.
Yeah.
Because when you're making a recommendation or a statement in a presentation, you want to have some background. Because unlike the color, and even the color could be a challenge, color palettes, but you actually want to have a foundation to be able to make this kind of recommendation. So what I say often is, is it a possibility? And then it's up to the organization to do their research to find out, because they legally have to register these names. They have to legally register the nonprofit company. So that would be a question. What you're saying is that it's a good name.
I mean, it works, yeah. I mean, it's obvious, straightforward,
And
and
so you-
says it all.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. That you'd go into a presentation and be able to say that. Anybody else have any other thoughts? So,
Thought of like a
Okay.
name change.
oh, good. What's the name?
On par for troops and
Don't laugh.
No, it was good. On par, I thought of that too, and then it came up earlier.
That's good. There, I mean, certain things, that are, nothing is completely original. Everybody's going to have overlapping thoughts. That's not a bad thing.
on course for troops.
Okay. Okay, so that would be another recommendation. So the question is, can the name stay? Is that a good thing? And if not, there might be some other, because this will go into your design. Are you going to design for these 3 names? That's a lot of work. How much will you get paid for that? So you kind of want to agree amongst yourselves what direction you want to go in terms of really what you want to design for. What's the best name? Is it the original one? Is it one of these that Johnny thought of? What else? That's good.
I guess re-emphasizing, I think it would be a good idea, if possible, to Skype with them, just to give the, like, again,
What else? Michael, do you have anything to add?
POV from horse's mouth.
Yeah. So I don't see it actually as competition. I think it was really great that you guys found that because Donna had not found it and she was impressed. So, but it's really not competition and they do different things. Yes. What we've discovered, so that's